What's going on, Internet? It's Josh back with another episode of Sometimes I Say Things. This is the daddy edition of Sometimes I Say Things. Sometimes I Say Things. Because the reason we're calling this the daddy edition is because I actually had a request from my buddy Joey asking me to just give some of my favorite things. My favorite, I guess, not a top 10 list, but like my favorite... the good things about being a parent, about being a dad. I can't speak for moms, but I'll speak for dads. In my opinion, the good things about being a dad. There may be some bad things I throw in here as well. They're very few. Just to get that out of the way right up front, they're very few. Good things, I'm probably not going to be able to put them all on the list or on the video because they come to you as you go. They come to you as the day goes on. I want to start from the beginning with my boy, with Ethan. My kid, he's almost 2.5 now. Ethan was trouble from the beginning when he was born. This little boy gave us a lot of trouble. With just the way he was born. We had some trouble with him in the NICU, and that was probably some of the hardest things I've ever been through. I don't wish that on anyone. I don't, no matter who you are, I don't want you to ever have to know or experience that at all, of not knowing what's going on with your kid and not being able to take him home and care for him and love him because you didn't know how they were going to be, if they were going to be living. Let's be honest, you didn't know how, the next day was going to be for them. And that's probably some of the worst things, worst days I've went through in my life. With that being said, we're starting this off on a bright sunny note here on this video. Let's try to get out of the darkness here and talk about the good things, because there's so many of them. Once we got through with that whole little fiasco, it lasted a couple of weeks, but once we got through with that, we went into having our kid at home and being parents, being a mom, being a dad. And being a dad to me is a lot of things. I mean, I get to be a comforter. I get to be a provider. I get to be someone who my kid looks at like I'm a superhero. I do the most stupidest things, and he looks at me like I am the best person ever. I mean, if I look at another grown adult and I do something like whoop-a-bop-bop, they're going to look at me like, what is wrong with you? Right? Like y'all just did watching this video. You're like, wait a minute. Something's wrong with that. Whereas Ethan, it's the best thing since sliced bread. He doesn't even know bread doesn't normally come sliced unless they make it that way. He just knows that's what he has. But I'm the best thing since sliced bread when I make a silly little sound. And so doing things like that, your kid looks at you like you are invincible. You're unstoppable. You're everything. And to me, that's got to be one of the highlights. I mean, just watching this little person who is helpless, who has, who doesn't know how to handle life. I'm still learning that, but I have a better grip on it than my 2-year-old. Ethan needs help changing diapers, making sure he has food in his stomach, clean clothes and a bath, the basic necessities. The bare necessities, whatever. So anyways, getting on topic here, on the bare necessities. Having a kid is one of those things that it's trying at times, especially with a newborn, because get used to not getting a lot of sleep. If you love your sleep, you are going to hate not having it, because you're not going to have it. And the sooner you can just come to terms with the fact that you are not going to have your sleep, the better it'll be for you. It wasn't a problem for me first off, because I'm good on like 6 or 7 hours of sleep normally. I feel like I've been fully rested at night. I feel like if I sleep 8 hours, I feel like I slept too long. I feel groggy. So to me, it was okay, but it wasn't like a full straight 6 hours either. It was a breakup. It was like a 3 hour or 2 hour 1 hour, and then you get up for a minute, and then you're back to bed for a couple minutes, and you're back up for a minute. So it was off and on. It was a lot of nights of just holding a baby in your arms, so that baby gets some sleep, and then you may be sleeping at some point. And so there's a lot of times where you're going to be tired, but the way that child smiles at you, it's worth it. Believe me, it is so worth it. I love my boy with all my heart. I mean, just hearing him yell my name when he needs me, and I hear daddy from across the room, or across the park, or whatever it may be, and I get to hear him call me for help. That's something that to me is it's amazing. One of the best things, and I know it's kind of a slogan or a little catchy phrase, but one of the best things I've ever been called is dad. There's a few things I get called. There's many hats that I wear in life. Speaking of hats, you like this one? Family Force 5, Christian rock band. They came in concert one time with Winter Jam. Bought the hat because it looks awesome, and I like it. I like the yellow because I think the yellow looks good with my red beard, and I'm kind of a diva like that when it comes to certain things. But back on topic again, because I'm going off on a tangent. When we are talking about a kid, you're going to have times where you get to see them learn things. One of the most wonderful things is watching a baby start learning things like how to turn themselves over, how to grab something and hold on to it with their hands, how to sit themselves up. And these things, they come gradually as time goes on, but it is one of the coolest things to watch them learn how to do this. Ethan was, when he was little, he would start, gabbing. He would start just like babbling, and it wasn't words coming out, but I mean, I guess he thought it was words, but it wasn't like words that you could understand. But at the same time, it was like you could see frustration on his face, because he's like, why is this not making sense? Why am I not coming out with something? Or at least that's what it looked like to me. I feel like my boy was pretty smart from the get-go, but then again, that's my boy, so I'm always going to feel like he's a little bit better than other kids around him. But that's, I think, what every parent has as their bragging rights of their kid being awesome. Which, by the way, Ethan's not 2.5 yet. He's almost 2.5. Knows his alphabet, all 26 letters. So not bragging or anything, but mom and dad are doing something right there. Booyah. Sorry, bragging, a whole lot bragging. But with that, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to see a lot of, kids don't know what food is. They don't know how to eat. They don't know how to chew stuff. They don't, we take this for granted, and you don't know, because, whoever thinks about stuff like that unless they've had a kid? I didn't think of stuff like that. I mean, why would I? Why would you think of that? But it's like watching Ethan learn how to say words. He starts off with simple words, dada, mama, and then it turns into daddy, mommy, and now he's saying mama. The other day he came out with dad, and I was like, no sir, you don't call me dad yet. You're not a teenager. I'm your daddy. That's the way it's going to be, because that's a sweeter thing to call me. You call me dad when you're mad at me as a teenager. That's how we're going to play that. My boy sings. He knows songs. Hearing him sing is one of those things that it's just like, I love listening to him. I love his laugh. Hearing a kid laugh, hearing your child laugh, is just a miracle in itself. It's a beautiful thing to hear. And like I said, there's some bad things on the list. Like, I don't like hearing my son cry, especially if he's hurt. If he hurt himself, if something happened and he's causes self pain, which at his age is a lot of ridiculous stuff, like falling, We took him to the park yesterday. He fell, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, maybe 7 times while we were there. So it was a regular, every few minute thing that kept happening. So, that's part of it. You hear your kid cry, you gotta, pick them up, love on them, take care of them, protect them, and that's, that's what you're supposed to do. Make them feel comforted, and that's where it becomes a good thing. Having your kid come to you and hug on you when they're hurt. Being able to hug your kid and being able to hold your child while they're sleeping, while they fall asleep in your arms. Awesome. So these are a few of my things that I love about having a child. I only have the one right now. We have a boy. We don't know. God's got plans for the future. Don't know what the future holds, whether that means having another kid or adopting or just having an only child. I was an only child. I turned out okay, I think. My wife was she had siblings, so she's all right, kind of. She turned out okay. Can't say much about her siblings, Ricky and Kim. Talking about you guys. Nah, I love you. I'm just playing. They turned out okay, and so I can't really say being an only child is better or having siblings is better, because I've kind of seen both sides of the coin now that I'm married. But I would say that whatever God has planned for us is what we have to accept, because ultimately it is His will, and it's what we pray daily for God's will to be done in our life, not for our will. I don't want what I feel like I want. I want what God wants me to have. Whatever that is, whatever that means, that's where I'm gonna go with my life. But having a kid is definitely a game changer. It's a life changer. It's a mood changer. You don't get to be sad too often having a kid, especially having a toddler. Having a newborn is a little bit different. They don't talk. They don't do things. You pretty much take care of them all the time. Having a toddler, though, if you're ever having a bad day, if you're ever sad, if you're in a grumpy mood or whatever, go around your toddler, man. That kid, it'll change your mood. Definitely, like I said, a life changer, a game changer, a mood changer. Makes you a better person. Makes you want to be a better person, or at least it did me. This is I think we're at a good point to stop the vlog. I'm at 13 minutes. Again, I love my boy. Ethan is amazing. I literally could talk about him for hours on end. I could ramble and make this just like a 5-hour vlog if I needed to, if I wanted to. Don't feel like too many people would watch it. Seeing Ethan with his grandparents, that's another awesome moment in my life, because I love the fact that my son has so many people around him that care about him and love him. I know some people take that for granted. Some people don't have that. And I'm very grateful and thankful for God to have given us that. With that being said, we're going to end the vlog here, because I'm at a red light now, so I can kind of reach up and turn it off. But guys, I love you. I really do love you guys, and I hope that you're having a great day. I hope you're having a great week. And please continue to live for Christ. Do what He wants you to do, not what you want to do. It's not about us. It's all about Him and the glory of God. Thank you guys for following my vlog. Thank you for listening. And if you have any comments, suggestions, leave them down below. Like the video, share it on Facebook, on other social media, Twitter, whatever you're a part of. And yeah, subscribe to my channel, man. That's pretty much the one that I usually forget. I try to remember all the little key points to hit there at the end. Please like the video. Please comment. It does help me. Subscribe if you're watching it and you're watching me on a weekly or daily basis whenever I post, and you're not subscribing. Please subscribe. It does help. And if anything happens, I do want to make this something, that maybe goes somewhere in my life. I want to make this something that's important to me. So if I do touch you, if I do make your day a little bit brighter, make you smile at least, hit the subscribe button, please. It does mean a lot to me. From what I can see online, I've got about 50% of the people that watch me not subscribed. Not that I know who you are, but If you like me, subscribe, please. I love you guys, and God loves you. Please continue to live for Him, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.
Yeah.